In this video, we're going to discuss tipping versus butting the drumstick on the hi-hat. Now, it seems to me today that a lot of default for drummers is to butt the hi-hat, and it's a great sound, but we should consider other options for different colors and variations, right? So for instance, there's a lot of times where tipping the drumstick is favorable. There's a couple of advantages to this, especially when recording, is that when you tip the cymbals, the hi-hats, it doesn't eat up the overheads as much, so it's not going to take up as much space. Cymbals are really tricky when you're trying to deal with a lot of microphones, especially like overheads, and hi-hats can really get into a lot of other spot mics too. So hi-hat control is very important in the recording studio. And I've noticed one of the differences between drummers that mainly play live and drummers that do a lot of session work is the session drummers have much more control over their cymbals, so it doesn't dominate the microphones. The cymbals are the loudest element of the drum kit, that and the snare drum. But the cymbals are more problematic because they kind of wash out, and so they will eat up spot mics, overheads, right, the room. So having control of the cymbals can actually make your kit sound balanced before mixing, which is ideal. And this is what was so special, or one of the many things that was so special about John Bonham from Led Zeppelin, is that he knew how to play lighter on the cymbals than he did on the drums. Very, very balanced sound, and he only used 3 mics on his drums. And they were all far back, so that sound you hear is him, right? It's him balancing the kit. So this goes for tipping versus butting the hat. Let's just listen to a little bit of both. Now I'm going to start with butting. Let's tip the head now. Okay, different expression, of course, but we need to analyze like what's different about each of those colors, right? What kind of sound does that evoke versus, right? That's definitely more aggressive and washing. When are each of those going to be appropriate for the song? So you really need to read the room a lot when you're playing or you're about to do a session on a song and figure out what colors are going to, I don't know, I'd say elevate the story that's happening in the song. You'll notice I was playing the cymbals quieter than the drums. So a lot of times I see drummers doing this. And I know there's some metal and some music that is all about the cymbal wash and not the drums, but for most other genres of music, that's going to be way too loud of cymbals or hi-hats to record, right? You're going to frustrate the mixing engineer and the recording engineer, and it's not going to allow them to get the best sound of the drums as possible. But if you did this, still a very intense sound. Even when I'm hitting the crashes, I'm trying not to go back and redo a deep swing on it, right? So I'm trying to hit them kind of somewhat gracefully. I'm pushing into the crash cymbals to get a nice crash out of them, but I'm not killing them, right? I'm not taking a big swing at them. It's a much more of a kind of a graceful kind of move, and they project and they can sound beautiful, and you're going to hear them plenty enough in the mix. Trust me, it's not going to ever be a problem to hear the cymbals, but the balancing the drum kit is really key right from the drumming perspective. This also helps you on stage, right? So if you're balancing your sound on stage, if the whole band is in that moment, instead of worrying about the PA to balance, it's going to make it easier when they put you in the PA if everybody's kind of balanced on stage. If your drumming is balanced, it's going to be a lot easier for the front of house mixer to get you a balanced sound in the mix, right? So this solves a number of problems in different scenarios. If you're enjoying this video, please like my channel, subscribe, leave comments, continue the conversation, and I'll see you next time.